Welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips. Coming up on today's show, I take a trip to the University of Nottingham to see how they are supporting the nation's efforts with providing PPE equipment to the NHS using a HP 3D printer from Matsuura. It's an unmissable story. Staying with Matsuura, we also discuss the benefits of the Muratec MT range, a job shop in a box they call it. I've personally got a cycle time challenge for you to get your brain working on this rather hot Friday afternoon. Paul visits Desman Engineering and tells us about the benefits of having two vertical turning centres running alongside one another. There's really some great stories this week, so stay tuned. So, gents, what's been on your timetable this week? Colin, you go first.
Well, I had an appointment with a hairdresser, but they wouldn't let me in, I'm afraid. So, moving on swiftly. The business bounce back loan. We did an interview with Paul Cox, Asset Finance Northampton. Fantastic scheme, I think. You should be able to apply for it. 2 pages, done. The money you should get instant approval, and then the money should be in your account within 2 days. In fact, I spoke to one company, applied Wednesday, got the funds Thursday. So great scheme if your company is in need of cash. So
it's actually
definitely have a look at that if you get a chance.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting what then the machine tool suppliers are doing to help their customers, and, whether they're, you don't have to pay for 6 months. They're really trying to look after engineers, shall we say. And Mark, what have you been up to?
Yeah, hi Lyndsey, hi Colin. Yeah, been quite busy actually. A lot of my specific customers have been quite active, booking up some filming, stock machines, some end users. So that's been really good. But from a personal point of view, I've been out on the bike, also playing golf now as well. We're allowed to play golf. But I've got something for you guys.
Go on.
On this day in 1980, what was launched?
Titanic? Oh, no.
Our International Space Station? That's Joff who told me that in my ear. That's not me.
It's close. It was when Pac-Man, the video game, was launched. There you go.
Oh, that's interesting. Pac-Man. Wow. There we go. Well, very interesting. Should we move on? Yeah, let's move on with the show. All right, Paul recently took a trip to Matsuura to review the Muratec MT range.
So if you want to maximise the amount of swarf and the chips that you're producing on a machine, you want to consider something like this. Now, this is a Muratec machine. This is an MT200. The beauty of this machine, and we'll talk about it more back on the set or back in the studio, is the gantry on here, as well as the addition of the bar feed. The fact you've got 2 spindles, 2 turrets, 2 Y-axis means that your opportunities for machining complicated parts and different batches of components are much more flexible than what you would have on a normal turning centre. In fact, the key to this point is about whether you can replace machines, and I say machines as in multiples of machines, with one machine like this behind me. Now, we see quite a lot of these MT Muratec machines going into the field, and it's by engineers that want to really streamline their manufacturing processes, and this is an opportunity to do that, because this machine is a highly capable one-hit machining product that can load not just bars but billets as well.
Those are fascinating machines, and it's interesting when you see the height of them, because the gantry's coming in, but then you can also bar feed as well. So Colin, what are your thoughts? What are the advantages?
Oh, brilliant machines. I know there's a few machine shops that haven't specifically got the Muratec machines, but they've got the gantry load with the bar feed. Basically, load up your billets or load up your bar, you're off and running 24/7, absolutely fantastic. But these machine tools, I didn't know the company's actually been going since 1961. The one that Paul reviewed, the MT200, will take a billet up to 8 inches, but the range itself will take billets up to 10 inches, so absolutely phenomenal. And they've got twin spindle, twin turret or triple turret with a Y-axis, so basically you can make whatever you like on that. The world is your oyster in terms of machining. So great machines and total flexibility, exactly what machine shops need.
Yeah, they call it a job shop in a box, don't they? And Mark, anything to add here?
Yeah, Matsuura UK have had the agency for a long time actually, and they are incredible machines. Really, they're really designed for precision, one-stop machining. And I think a lot of companies in the marketplace to actually provide the best service to their customers in all different sectors. It is really, like you say, it's a phenomenal machine that can actually just keep running without putting too many people actually on the machine.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, thank you, gents. Don't forget the Cycle Time Challenge, which is coming up very, very shortly, and the 3D printed face shield. But next up, we head over to Desman Engineering.
So what we've got behind us here is two vertical turning centres side by side. Now, a little bit like a twin spindle horizontal turning centre, you're trying to get the second operation for free, and that's what they're doing here at Desman Engineering. They're doing one op on the casting on the left-hand machine, and then the second operation on the right-hand machine. Now, the key to the success of this is, of course, trying to balance it out so that one machine isn't sitting there waiting for the other component. In an ideal world, you'd have a 5-minute cycle time one side and the same the other. And if you do that, then you get the optimum in your production. And Hwacheon supply these machines. These are from Hwacheon, and they are actually like a pair. It is a 2SP. So it's all about improving that productivity.
Okay, so you've got a vertical lathe here. So there's lots of advantages to having your vertical lathe. The swarf's going to fall away with gravity. And of course, if someone doesn't have an issue with floor space, then these are perfect, aren't they, Mark?
Yeah, I've seen a few of these out in the field. Mainly I think doing jobs like valves or the oil and gas sector. And Hwacheon, fantastic array of different products. But the Hwacheon machines, they go from a 450 VT to 1150. So it just depends on the diameter, obviously, of your part. But having them side by side, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Really, is that you can actually have two jobs, on the go at the same time. Yeah,
definitely. And you're talking about the automotive sector as well, with the brake discs and the brake calipers too. But like you're saying, I did ask Paul on the day a question about automating that process, and there are like pros and cons to it. But at the end of the day, if that machine stops, every single time that machine stops, you've got a full completed part that's going to come off that machine, aren't you, Colin? And you know Desmond, don't you, Colin?
Know them very well, yeah. Ian Giller, if I pronounced that correctly, Ian, apologies if I didn't. And Mark Freeman and the rest of the team, fantastic machine shop. They are geared up to do big components. We did a video recently there, and they were doing a turbo comprising 3 parts, and you probably can't get the scale here, but it must have been a metre and a half tall, just one of the components on for this turbo. And what they actually do is they 3D print the turbo first, just a small thing, so they can work out, make sure all the nuances and get it right, which ties in nicely with our next video about the Matsuura 3D printing. But they've got, fantastic machine shop, Toyotas, Toshibas, feelers, big parts. They also do some 95-axis work, and one of the biggest CMM machines I've seen as well, huge, but really, really fantastic machine shop. And the Hwacheons, Paul reviewed that one with the twin pallet, not twin pallets, the two machines together. But they've actually, as Mark mentioned, the Hwacheon range, they've just bought an 1150, which is an absolute beast of a machine. It really is. Yeah. And he said, because it's vertical, obviously the swarf's falling away, and no droop, especially, they're doing big casting. I think it'll take up to 3 tons from memory. So you don't want to be holding that horizontally. So absolutely perfect for that type of work.
Right, okay, thanks, Jen. So like Paul mentions, this is all about optimising your strategy, but this only works depending, of course, on the type of work that you've got. So before we find out about the University of Nottingham and what they're doing to help protect our NHS, let's get your brains tested today with this week's Cycle Time Challenge. Yes, this is the part. It is a stainless steel part that is made on a Nakamura NTY machine, and it's NTY3, which means there are 3 turrets. So some of the key features I need you to look out for are the drilled holes externally. Then you've got the serrations on the face. Then if I spin it over, you've got the milling operation with the spigots on the outside, and then internally you've got the notching within. So how long did it take to make this stainless steel part on the Nakamura NTY 3 machine. Good luck. Now, this is your Friday afternoon challenge, so don't forget to put your guesses in the comments box below. Gents, your guesses, please. Colin?
I'll tell you what, those machines never cease to amaze me, the complexity of the parts, but actually the speed they can do it in. So I'm going to go 7 minutes.
7 minutes? Okay, I know it, so I'm not going to give anything away. Mark?
Yeah, ETG, great offerings, as you know, and Nakamura has been one of their, best-selling machines. But, looking at that type of component and the actual material, which, I'm going to go 4 minutes.
4 minutes,
quicker.
Right. Okay, so, well, I know, but it's down for you to guess. And, of course, if you put your guesses on whichever platform you're watching this programme on, put them in the comments box below and you have a chance to win a Swarf and Chips goodie bag. Right, next up, do not count how many times I say incredible in this next video, because it simply is incredible. One truly incredible story here. We're at the University of Nottingham, and what you're seeing in front of you are all staff members working tirelessly to create these face shields that are being used for the NHS, which is incredibly interesting because these face shields are actually 3D printed on a Matsuura HP machine. It consists of 3 components, 2 of which are laser cut, which is the face shield, and the headband at the back. And then here, this grey piece here is what is 3D printed. Incredible story during rather incredible times. Honestly, it was such a lovely, boiling hot day when we went to the University of Nottingham, and it was fascinating to hear what these gents were doing, and ladies. And what's really interesting about this video, and there's lots I could tell you about it, but in the industry, a lot of these face shields and PP equipment have been made, but they're not CE marked, so they're not reaching that kind of accreditation of British standards. And so what's happened is they had to make all of these. So you've got the band at the back. You've got the strap at the back. You've got the visor at the front, which has got like a fog coating on. And then the band bit, which is made on the HP machine from Matsuura. But what's interesting is it's all about the radius and how curved that visor was, as to why those are successful face shields as well. So it's quite interesting. And the original order was very small, and now they've got I think it's like 5,000 of the HP printed parts, the bands, but then because the fog, the mist bit, is a disposable item, they've had to make then 25,000 of those. So there's a lot of face shields that a company that aren't out there to make money or anything, they're a research centre are doing. So it's amazing to see what everyone's doing at such strange times, shall we say. So, gents, what are your thoughts after my little rant?
Well, shall I go first? It's incredible from Matsuura. I mean, lovely thing about Matsuura is that they're very, very well known, not just for fantastic machines, for instance, and solutions, but they've gone down a 3D print inside with the HP multi-jet fusion machines. And yet again, the service and backup that you get from Matsuura, is incredible. But there is about 4 different ranges of machines from HP, and some of those machines, I think there's a 5210 that can actually make up to 550 parts per week. So depending on what you're doing, it's a very low carbon way, a footprint way to actually have a 3D printed product, but also it challenges the repeatability of machine tools, but also from the point of view, it just rivals machine tools. So it's a great solution.
Yeah, and Colin, just to finish up.
Yeah, a couple of quick things. That was incredible, Lyndsey. It really was. But can you take the mask off, please? Was that a bit rude?
Funny.
Well, on a serious note, 3D printing come on leaps and bounds over the last. I mean, it's been around quite a while, but over the last 5 years, you've seen it grow massively. And now to be able to do production level components is absolutely fantastic. The accuracy and things like that, and you're seeing so many more different types. I know we saw one in Russia, actually, Metallurg Robotka, if I could say that, where it was spraying the powder and had laser focusing on it, which was really interesting to see. We saw some recently, the Matsuura range, at one of the last exhibitions we went to this year, And some of the stuff they were making, that stuff wasn't about production, but just the parts they were making, just the variability of parts was absolutely fantastic. So leaps and bounds, and great to see it could be production now as well.
Well, I asked the University of Nottingham right at the end of that video, I said, where are you going next? And they've had so many inquiries from people who are working in, say, beauty salons and just, different industries requiring these. So who knows where we're going next. Anyway, it is wonderful to see. And thank you very much, gentlemen, for taking part in today's show. We've got a fantastic takeover show next week because of ETG's latest launch of their brand new range of machine tools called the Vulcan. So you're going to be finding out a little bit more about that on next week's show. Don't forget this week's Cycle Time Challenge guesses. Make sure you put them in the comments box below for your goodie bag. And from all of us, we wish you to have a lovely bank holiday this weekend.